So you want to work at Disney World, but you don't know what to do or where to begin. Here's what it was like for me 10 years ago. I enjoy theme parks, love them to death. And I knew I had to get a job in addition to what I was doing, but I wanted to do something that wouldn't just pay the bills, but that I would have a lot of fun with. And since I love theme parks and I love Disney, of course an obvious place to go was Disney World. In fact, it was only about 20 minutes away from where I was living at the time, so why not? I happened to be looking at some of the classified ads out there, and Disney mentioned they were looking for photographers. Okay, I'm not a great photographer, but I can learn, and I love being at the parks, and I love taking pictures of them, and I think I do okay. So I take a whole lot of my pictures that I had taken of my family and friends at the parks, and I print them off, make a little portfolio of pictures, and I head on over to Disney. First stop, if you're going to get any sort of job at Disney World, is casting. You drive down to casting, which is down near Disney Springs, which used to be called Downtown Disney. You drive up to the casting building, and you walk inside. As you walk in, you walk through big glass double doors, and then you make a left turn, and you start walking up the ramp. As you walk up this long ramp up to the second floor, you stop at a counter. Say, I'd like to apply for a job. Which one would you like? They hand you the application. They hand you all the forms. Take a resume with you. You're going to want it. And then you have to go into the room and start filling it out. Cannot take it with you. Or at least back then you couldn't. You had to fill everything out on the spot. What you don't realize is you're on camera from the minute you walk in the door. They're watching your every move, every reaction, everything you do. You go fill out your application, copy your information from the resume on it, turned it in, and I waited. And I waited, and I waited, and then they finally called me. Now, on that application, I had made sure that I mentioned what type of job I was applying for. I knew there were openings in that department because I've seen the classified ad. And so they called me up, and I interviewed one of the heads of the department, somebody I actually ended up working with later on who was one of my managers. And I remember doing the interview with them, explaining why I was interested in the job, what I was looking forward to, and what I knew. And they asked me how much I knew about photography in the parks anyway. So I pulled out my pictures and showed them what I had taken with my friend. Turns out most of what I had taken was pretty similar to what they were looking for. So that worked out really well. They say, thanks for coming in. A few days later, you get the call. We're going to hire you. You've got the job. Here's your training date. Get ready to go to Disney University. Disney U. Disney U starts off with a one-day Welcome to Disney class, and it's had various different names over the years. For me, it was called Traditions. Traditions is a one-day long class where you talk about the history of the Disney company, the history of the Disney parks starting at Disneyland with Walt, all the way through to where we are now, everything that it encompasses, and what it means to be a part of Disney. That you're not just an employee, but you're a cast member. That everybody is on a first-name basis. There's no Mr. and Mrs. Everybody is responsible for taking care of the guests, taking care of the parks, and to go beyond what would normally be expected to make the magic happen. The idea is to make it feel like a wonderful, magical place to every single person that walks in. And you take a whole day and just talk about this. And it's a lot of fun. Your teachers are actually people who work in the parks, and they're all excited about it, and you almost can't help but get excited. And if you don't get it excited, then maybe it's not for you. After you go through Traditions, then you got your training schedule. For a Photopass photographer at the time, we had a lot of training. It was almost 2 weeks worth, as I recall. We had class days on how to hold a camera, how to set the camera, the different kinds of settings, which buttons were which, and how to use it. Because we would actually have some people who came in who'd never used a camera before, let alone a digital SLR. We would talk about the locations, how to give customer service, how to talk to the guests, because even talking to the guests was a thing. See, we wanted to do things a little different. You're probably used to walking into those parks and you see that wall of photographers standing there saying, get your picture, get your picture. Not at Disney. For us, we were spread out much more, and we didn't say, come get your picture. It was, hi, how are you? Welcome to Disney. Can I help you? Can I help you find something? Oh, you're taking a picture. Let me use your camera so you can get in there. Love that shirt. Oh, how are you doing, princess? And we would greet them and talk to them and help them. And then when they'd ask us, oh yeah, we can get your picture with our cameras. Absolutely. Let me tell you about Photopass. And so it was completely guest service oriented. We had to be trained on how to do that right. We would spend a whole day in how just to interact with the guests. We had more training on how to treat special guests, those who were in special circumstances and situations. We had training on how to line up this picture and that picture, because taking a picture of the castle is not the same as taking a picture of a character. And it's not the same as taking a candid shot of somebody waiting for the parade, or any of a variety of other things that we take pictures of. And there were a bunch of different things that we had to learn. After we learned all that, where we could basically stand out on the street and take a picture of a family in front of the castle, then we got further character training. They actually, at the time I was there, would train the photographers to do a lot of the same job as the character attendants. Those are the ones that would actually take care of the lines, take care of the characters, and help everything run smoothly. Part of my character training was actually putting on a little bit of Mickey and Goofy's outfit. We got to see what it was like to be a character and some of the things they got to go through. And can I tell you, that was some of the most valuable training I had, because when I was out there working with them, I had an idea what they were going through. I had a clue what they dealt with. And it made it so much easier for me to be able to help them have a better time with the guests and help the guests have a better time, because I knew. But I even went in for some extra training as well. I got trained as a parade operator. They're the ones that walk the street saying, please sit behind the rope, please sit behind the line. But they're also the ones leading the games and interacting with the guests and doing everything they can to help those parades flow smoothly. Which meant we got to do some neat things that other people didn't get to do. I can remember one time that I was over at Hollywood Studios, and we're waiting for the parade, and me and 3 or 4 of the other photographers are up and down the street with the guests that are all sitting on the side. And one of the other photographers got a great idea.
Hey! Let's do the wave!
Cool! And so all of us photographers started working up the street, and we started running down the street. Do the wave! Do the wave! To the point where we got the whole street doing the wave all the way down and then all the way back as we were waiting for the parade. After we got all that training, though, that's when we were finally turned loose to be able to work with the guests. It takes a lot of training to be able to do the job effectively. Unlike other places where I would get just a couple days of training, Disney probably gave me the most before I was ever out with the guests. It was several days of training before I was even out in the park training. We were off at Disney University in classes there, or in some of the workshop and conference rooms that are hidden in various places around the park. The other thing that Disney does that is really neat is when you first start at Disney World, whichever park you're at, they take you on a special day where you get there before the park opens and meet up with a whole bunch of other new cast members, and they take you on a special tour of the park. Not just the one that some of the guests can take, but they walk you through the park, explain what each area is, what the story behind it is, and what your role in that part of the park is, to help make the drama, the play that is Disney World come to life. You understood as you walked through that you weren't just coming in as a job, but you had a role to play in this great drama, this great fantasy that is Disney World. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a little bit of an idea of what it means to get a job at Disney and how to do it. Trust me, it's one of the best jobs I ever had. I miss it still. I would do it all over again if I could. I encourage you, if you're thinking about it, give it a shot. Try it out. See if it's something you enjoy. Hope you will. Don't forget to like and comment. Please share this video. I'd appreciate it so much. Thanks.